Mango. All glories to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashagvati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttame Nashtaki. Reading and discussion from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, Text 47. Ahastani sahastanam apadani chatushpadam falguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. Ahastani sahastanam apadani chatushpadam falguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. Ahastani sahastanam apadani chatushpadam falguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. Translation and purport. Those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. Those devoid of legs are subsistence of the strong. And the general rule holds that one living being is food for another. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The systematic law of subsistence in the struggle for existence is there by the supreme will. And there is no escape for anyone by any amount of planning. The living beings who have come to the material world against the will of the supreme being are under the control of a supreme power called Maya Shakti, the deputed agent of the Lord. And this Devi Maya is meant to pinch the conditioned souls by threefold miseries, one of which is explained here in this verse. The weak are the subsistence of the strong. No one is strong enough to protect himself from the onslaught of his stronger, and by the will of the Lord, there are systematic categories of the weak, the stronger, and the strongest. There's nothing to be lamented if a tiger eats a weaker animal, including a man, because that is the law of the Supreme Lord. But although the law states that a human being must subsist on another living being, there is the law of good sense also. But the human being is meant to obey the laws of the scriptures. This is impossible for any other animals. The human being is meant for self-realization, and for that purpose he is not to eat anything which is not first offered to the Lord. The Lord accepts from his devotee all kinds of food preparations made of vegetables, fruits, leaves, and grains. Fruits, leaves, and milk. Different varieties can
Hare Krishna, Raghupati Prabhu. I think we cannot hear you. You are complete. You are lost with the connection.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hare
you were on
Krishna?
mute actually.
Yeah, Prabhu. We can hear you now.
Okay, that's good. Okay, something wrong with the connection, but let's see if we can manage today. Okay, where were we? If you go back, yeah, go up, Prabhu. Yes, yeah, yes, yeah. This is where we were. So even those who are accustomed to eat animals can offer foodstuffs, not to the Lord directly, but to an agent of the Lord under certain conditions of religious rites. Injunctions of these scriptures are meant not to encourage the eaters of animals, but to restrict them by regulative principles. The living being is the source of subsistence for other, stronger living beings. No one should be very anxious for his subsistence in any circumstances, because there are living beings everywhere, and no living being starves for want of food at any place. Maharaj Yudhishthira is advised by Narad not to worry about his uncle's suffering for want of food, for they could live on vegetables available in the jungle as prasad of the Supreme Lord, and thus realize the path of salvation. Exploitation of the weaker living being by the stronger is the natural law of existence. There's always an attempt to devour the weak in different kingdoms of living beings. There's no possibility of checking this tendency by any artificial means under material conditions. It can be checked only by awakening the spiritual sense of the human being by practice of spiritual regulations. The spiritual regulative principles, however, do not allow a man to slaughter weaker animals on one side and teach others peaceful coexistence. If man does not allow the animals peaceful coexistence, how can he expect peaceful existence in human society? The blind leaders must therefore understand the Supreme Being and then try to implement the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God, or Ram Rajya, is impossible without the awakening of God consciousness in the mass mind of the people of the world. Mukhyanthimanandhasya Gyananjana Salakya Chakshulmiltamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Saptamen Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadkamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sirupam Sagrajatam Sagar Raghunathanutantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanutanscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishmahanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Panchakalptarubhayasya Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ahastani Sahastanam Apadani Chatuspadam Falguni Tatra Mahatam Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. Those who are devoid of hands are pray for those who have hands. Those devoid of legs are pray for the four-legged. The weak are the subsistence of the strong, and the general rule holds that one living being is food for another. Hare Krishna. So once again, we want to thank all the devotees and particularly Samantu. So for organizing this lecture. It's always a pleasure to be in your association. The chapter you're reading now is a very important part in the episode of Mahabharata. Mahabharata normally is considered to be finished once the battle was won. But Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives us further information. So Shamachandra Prabhu chose this verse for us today, which is from Dhritarashtra's departure of Horn Forest. So 5,000 years from now, in Bharatvarsh, people were following Vedic culture strictly, so much so that even King Dhritarashtra, who did not want to leave the kingdom, he was thinking himself to be the king, even after losing the battle and losing all his sons. He was thinking himself to be the king out of illusion. So his brother, Vidura, he comes and delivers him. He takes him away along with his Sati wife Gandhari to the forest. Because Vidura knew that Dhritarashtra was extremely attached to the kingdom. His name indicates Dhritarashtra. Rashtra means the kingdom, and Dhrita means who takes away. So he took away Pandava's kingdom, and he was feeling himself to be in a privileged position, occupying the throne. So this is a very important incident. Now, in today's verse, we read a very, very important verse. It says, Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. It's very, very important instruction of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So, in Krishna's creation, everything has been arranged very nicely. The Big Bang theory does not explain a rational model or structure very satisfactorily. The reason being that Big Bang does not consider that this very, very organized universe was put in place by the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In 10th chapter, we find Krishna says, Mayadhyakshana prakriti suyate sacharacharam. That under my supervision, material nature is creating suyate sacharacharam, the moving and non-moving entities. So material nature is creating. The scientists only tell us the half of the story. The scientists study the material nature. They study the material nature and they defy God. And this tendency is continuing, still continuing. Just like Kansa. Kansa wanted to kill Krishna from his very birth. Even before Krishna was born, Janmashtami is coming now. So before Krishna was born, he was already planning how to kill him. He kept Krishna's father and mother in the prison house, shackled in their hands and legs. They were not able to do anything apart from just maintain themselves, eat, bathe themselves, that's all. So they were simply imprisoned, shackled by Kamsa, because he wanted to kill Krishna. Why he wanted to kill Krishna? Because Krishna happened to be his death. There was aerial voice which said, "You fool Kamsa, the 8th son of your sister will kill you." So although Kamsa was showing so much affection to his sister Devaki on her wedding, but as soon as he heard that 8th son of his sister will kill him, immediately he wanted to kill his sister. So this is demonic mentality. Now in this material world, the rule is that no one survives death. And the demonic people, this is exactly they try to do. They want to conquer death. And not only conquer death, they want to kill God. So if you look at the history of great demons, starting from Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, they all have something in common, and that is that they want to conquer death and then kill God. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Mrityu sarvarascha, that in the form of death, I take away everything. So Hiranyakashipu wanted to conquer death. But in order to conquer death, he is praying to Lord Brahma. Ravana wanted to conquer death. In order to conquer death, he is also praying to Lord Brahma. So demons have something in common, and that is that they would worship something or someone but God. And their purpose is to kill God. So as soon as Hiranyakashipu became powerful, he wanted to kill Vishnu. When Ravana became powerful, he wanted to kill Ram. When Kamsa was powerful, he wanted to kill Krishna. So Kamsa was the worshipper of Mahamaya, Durga. He was a devotee of Durga. So when he wanted to kill Krishna, he kept Krishna's parents, and then one by one, he was killing the siblings of the Lord. So there were 6 sons born to Mother Devaki, and Kamsa, one after another, killed them all. Then he thought that he will kill the 7th son, but Lord Balaram was transferred by Yogamaya. So at the time of the 8th son, Krishna himself made arrangement to go to Gokul, Mother Yashoda. And when Yogamaya was brought as a daughter, Kamsa wanted to kill her because he thought that Vishnu can take any form. Vishnu is very, very tricky. And Vishnu had taken Mohinamurti form as a woman, and he killed so many demons. So he thought maybe Vishnu has come in the form of a girl. So he wanted to kill that girl as well, Yogamaya. But that girl slipped from the hands of Kamsa when he wanted to kill her and manifested herself as Ashtabhuji Durga. 800 Durga form. So Kansa took this very seriously because he was a devotee of Durga. But Durga is telling him that release Vasudeva and Devaki. And the person who is going to kill you is already born somewhere. Kansa was very, very afraid. So he released Vasudeva and Devaki. So the point here is, just like Kansa was a devotee of Durga, but a killer of Krishna, or wanted to be a killer of Krishna. Devotee of Durga. Ravan, a devotee of Brahma and Shiva, but wanted to be a killer of Ram. Hiranyakashipu, a devotee of Brahma, but wanted to be a killer of Vishnu. So similarly, in the modern world, we see that the scientists, the atheistic scientists, they are studying the material nature and discovering many secrets by studying material nature. But their purpose is very much the same. They are studying material nature. So in other words, you can say that they are worshipping material nature, which is the form of Durga. But they don't accept God. They defy God. So material scientists, atheistic scientists, they are representing the same demonic mentality of Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, and Kansa. And this is expressed in the West, in the Western world. This is known as Oedipus complex. In Vedic literature, we find a very beautiful description of the material nature, especially in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam describes 10 topics, and one of them is creation, how creation takes place. So Oedipus complex is, in the West, that every child wants to kill his father and sleep with his mother. So this sounds really horrible to hear, but this also indicates the mentality of living entities who want to control the material nature and kill their father, Krishna. Material nature is simply a representation of Krishna's energy. Bhumirapi anulo vayu kham manobuddhirevacha ahankaritye me bhinna prakriti ashtadha. Apretyastonyam prakriti vidhya me bharam. Jivabhuta mahabaho yaidam dharyate jagat. So this is Krishna's creation, material nature, consisting of 5 gross and 3 subtle elements: earth, water, air, fire, ether, and then mind, intelligence, and false ego. So this is Krishna's creation, Krishna's energy. But materialists or living entities who only see material nature but not the creator beyond material nature, they want to control or lord it over material nature. So this is expressed through the Oedipus complex, which I quoted early on, that every child wants to kill his father and sleep with his mother. So that is, crudely speaking, this is the mentality of those living entities who want to enjoy the material nature and kill their father. Krishna is the father. Aham bija prada pita. Krishna says, I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. So Krishna is the father. And in Krishna's creation, particularly in the material creation, we find that living entities are subsisting on other living entities. Now somebody may say, this is horrible. Why does Krishna, who is the father of all living entities, created this world where living entities are devouring other living entities to subsist? So this is based on the theory of karma. Material nature has arranged the food, the subsistence of other living beings at the cost of weaker living entities. So in this verse today we read, Ahastani, Ahastani, Saspadani. Those who have no legs, no hands, Ahastani. Those who have no hands, they subside, they are devoured by living entities who have hands. So let's just look at the verse again, which says, those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. So as human beings, we have hands, and we subside or live on the living entities who have no hands. So fruits, vegetables, trees, they've got no hands. So we subside on them because that's the law of karma. That's the law of subsistence. You would have heard the famous theory of survival of the fittest. And this is very much the case. That a person who is stronger subsists on the person or living entities who are weaker. So Ahastani, Sahasthanam, those who have hands, and those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. So we eat vegetables, fruits, etc. But human beings, they not only eat vegetable fruits, but they also eat other living entities who may be weaker. Then those who have no legs, those devoid of legs are prey for four-legged. So four-legged animals, they live on vegetation, vegetables, just like the animals. Some animals are vegetarian and some animals are meat eaters, carnivorous. So we find that the deers, cows, animals like that, they eat grass and they eat vegetation. But then they are devoured by other animals, stronger animals like the tigers, lions, etc. So this is how the creation has been arranged by Krishna's arrangement. And why this kind of arrangement? Because living entity is fulfilling his desire from one body to another body to another body. And this is how living entity goes through one body to another body. Evolution. So evolution, the theory of evolution is correct. but it has not been explained by Darwin adequately. Adequately because Darwin does not see God's hands. And Darwin does not see that actually all the living entities have been existing from time immemorial. Darwin only explains half of the story, which is that small cell living beings like amoeba, they develop into multi-cell. And this is how living beings have developed. So according to Darwin, Prabhupada jokes that according to Darwin, our his ancestors were monkeys. So we don't accept that. Evolution is going on consistently. But that evolution is going on from time immemorial and is still going on. But human platform is the platform of responsibility. In human platform, we have a superior intelligence by which we can decide what to eat, what not to eat. Just like you would remember that nowadays people are using social media to decide what to have for lunch, what to have for dinner, what to have for breakfast. And sometimes they put on social media, oh, not sure what to have for lunch, what to have for dinner. So human beings can decide. And these scriptures give us the direction what to eat and what not to eat. In animal kingdom, this is already ordained. The tiger is not going to be a vegetarian. It's already ordained. The tiger will eat other weaker animals, deers, etc. So similarly, the birds, they are ordained to eat other weaker animals, other weaker insects. Deer, they are ordained to eat grass. So in animal kingdom, this is already ordained. But in human being, human platform, we can decide. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives a very vivid description in chapter 18. The food in the mode of goodness, the food in the mode of passion, and the food in the mode of ignorance. So, Charak Pandit says, Ahar Nidra, Bhayamatunam cha, Samanyametat, Pashubhinnarana, Dharmasya eko adhiko vishesu, Dharmena hina, Pashubhi samana. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, this is common between man and animals. But in human platform, we have something which is unique, and that is that we have intelligence and we have superior intelligence, superior sense to decide. Ahar nidra bhayamatam cha samanyam etat pashuvin narana. Dharmo hi eko adhiko vishesh. So in human platform, we have this sense to decide what is dharma. Dharma, our constitutional position. So what is our dharma? What to eat, what not to eat. What to speak, what not to speak. What to do, what not to do. Kim karmeti, kabhavapitra mohita. Tatyakam pravakshami, yajgyatva mokshasya shiva. What is karma? What is vikarma? What is akarma? This is very complicated. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is describing very nicely. So what is karma? What is the action according to the Vedic injunctions, scriptures? What is vikarma? The actions, activities against the Vedic literature, Shastra. Then akarma. Akarma is the activity which will bring no resultant reaction. Akarma. So in Bhagavad Gita, I was mentioning that there are three kinds of food mentioned. Food in the mode of goodness, food in the mode of passion, and food in the mode of ignorance. Food in the mode of ignorance includes anything cooked after 3 hours, stale. So junk food is certainly food in the mode of ignorance. And nowadays, junk food, fast food, has become a fashion. Everything is fast. So people are spending many times more to order fast food, eat fast food. And this is not only expensive, but this is also unhealthy. So in the West, now the tendency is more and more people are turning to eat healthy. But in India or in South Asian countries, more and more people are turning to eat fast food. Just order something very quickly, which is so expensive and it's unhealthy. Food in the mode of passion is very pungent and it's not in the it does not give pleasure. It's food in the mode of goodness is made from substances like milk, sugar, vegetables, and that food gives pleasure. Makes you peaceful. So although there are three kinds of foodstuffs described in Bhagavad Gita, but Krishna says, Yagya sistasana santo muchanti sarvikilvashe. Bhunjanti te tugham papam e pachanti atmakaran. So let alone the animals. Animals have no choice. They will eat what they are meant to eat. The snake will come and eat another weaker living entity like the frogs or insects. The cow will eat grass. Lion will not eat grass. So in animal kingdom, this is very much preordained. It's ordained. But in human life, because we have a superior intelligence and also dharma, our constitutional position, understand what is to be done, what is not to be done in the light of the scriptures. So the Lord is saying that yag sistasana santo muchanti sarvakulavashi bhunjanti tuham papam e pachanti atmaka. Anyone, even if somebody is a vegetarian, if that person is not offering the foodstuffs to the deities of the Lord, then they are also eating sins. Anyone who is not offering foodstuffs in sacrifice, yajna, or to the deities, they are eating sins. So becoming vegetarian is not necessarily becoming a devotee. In order to become a devotee, we have to offer that food or make that offering offerable. If the food is offerable, we offer to the deities, then eat. Then what happens? Just by doing this, you become purified. In 9th chapter, Krishna is giving very clear instructions. Yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yad johoshi, dadasi. Yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurusa madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever sacrifice you perform, whatever charity you give, offer that unto me, Krishna says. Tat kurusa madarpanam. So this madarpanam is very important. Offering everything for Krishna's pleasure. Now what happens when you offer something for Krishna's pleasure? That it becomes purified. It purifies our consciousness. And you know this famous verse from Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yam bhaktya prachati tadaham bhakti upratam asnami pratatmana. So Krishna is asking for patram pushpam phalam toyam. Patram, leaf, flower, fruit, water. So Krishna is not demanding any animal sacrifice or anything like that. He is asking for very simple things which are available anywhere and everywhere. So water, fruit, flower, any foodstuffs made of vegetarian substances that can be offered to Krishna. When people come to our temples on Janmashtami or Gaur Purnima, and they see that deities are being offered hundreds of offerings, they can't believe. Like on Rath Yatra or Janmashtami, sometimes we have 500 offerings, 500, easily. In some temples, we have more. In Vrindavan, we have thousands of offerings, 1,000, easily, more than 1,000 offerings on Janmashtami. So, first of all, in the modern age, people don't believe that you can prepare very nice, palatable dishes out of fruits, vegetable, milk, wheat, pulses, rice. They don't believe. In this modern age, people have been brainwashed to think that unless you are eating meat, you're not going to get the protein and you will die. But that's not the case. There are hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people in India and outside India who have been vegetarian throughout their life. And they are as healthy as anybody. In nature, we see that horses, they are vegetarian, but they are very powerful. In olden days, the machine power was calculated by horsepower. Horsepower, because horse is very powerful and running. And horse is vegetarian. Elephant is vegetarian, powerful, very powerful. Elephant is vegetarian. Horse is vegetarian. Similarly, there are many examples of athletes who are vegetarian. Athletes. So, in modern civilization, we have been brainwashed to think that unless people are eating meat, they will not get protein, and therefore they will be malnourished. But that's not the case. You can get protein from dal, pulses, milk, beans. So this is the agenda of materialistic people to kill poor animals. So although this verse is saying today, Jiva Jivasya Jivanam, that the stronger living entities prey on weaker living entities. But in human platform, we have to minimize this. So what do we eat? We eat what Krishna ordains, or Krishna orders in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever is offerable, this is what we eat. Now the question may be, if we eat vegetable, are we implicating in sins? Like Krishna says, we will, if we don't offer that food to Krishna. So that's why the Lord is saying, Yama bhaktya prachiti, tadham bhakti ubritam asnami pratatna. So Krishna eats that food just by glancing over it. Just like in Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath is eating so many offerings in a day. He's accepting so many offerings. And people are going and accepting Jagannath Prasad and becoming purified. In the beginning of Hare Krishna movement, Prabhupada cooked for the hippies. He would cook love feast. And in ISKCON, we have a tradition of Sunday love feast. So guests come and we cook for them. We distribute prasadam. We cook for the deities, offer to the deities, and distribute prasadam to the guest. So when the guests are eating prasadam, they become purified. Prabhupada used to cook for the hippies who simply came to attend his lecture, and Prabhupada would then serve prasadam. So by serving prasadam to these hippies, Prabhupada purified their existence. And then they slowly became interested in the philosophy and following other rules and regulations. So prasadam is very important. Prabhupada wanted that nobody should go hungry within 10-mile radius. So that is the motto in our temples, that no one should go hungry. In England, we have prasadam distribution in major cities like London. So the devotees are going in the city of London to distribute prasadam. Similarly, in other cities like Coventry, Leicester, Manchester, devotees go and distribute prasadam. So ISKCON has this prasadam distribution, and in the Corona time, in cities like Delhi, Mumbai, major cities, ISKCON took this project to feed people prasadam, hot, nutritious prasadam. And just by eating prasadam, people become purified. And when they become purified, they're more likely to take to Krishna consciousness. In fact, as soon as they eat prasadam, their Krishna consciousness has already begun. So in ISKCON, we have very simple formula: chanting, dancing, and feasting. Hare Krishna. So just to summarize the verse today, the verse we find that Maharaj Yudhishthira is contemplating, but he is also a pure devotee and fully Krishna conscious king. So he knows that by Krishna's arrangement, his uncle and aunt Gandhari and Dhritarashtra, they are not going to starve. Everything has been arranged by Krishna's arrangement, the material creation. But this very important verse today tells us that in the material world, one living entity subsists on another living entity. But human beings should not take advantage of their superior intelligence and their superior power to kill animals unnecessarily. If you calculate every day how many cows are slaughtered, how many chickens are slaughtered, how many goats are slaughtered, you'll be shocked to see the statistics. Simply look at the cows every day. How many animals are slaughtered every day? So if people know this principle, that you cannot kill unnecessarily. If a tiger kills a deer, tiger is not liable for punishment. But if a human being unnecessarily kills other living entities, they are liable for punishment. That's why it's called mans. Meat in Sanskrit is called mans, which means I am that. So today you're killing another living entity, another animal. That animal will then become human being, and then you become animal, and you will be killed in the same way. That is mansa, meat. And people think eating meat is a fashion. It's very ironic that in pious countries like India, people are doing beef parties in the university campuses. This is horrific. This is inhuman. In the name of secularism, people are doing all sorts of heinous, sinful activities. Particularly, cow killing is the most sinful activity. The Supreme Personality of Krishna, of Godhead, Krishna himself, he is known as Gopal. He herds the cows. Chintamani Prakarsadmasa Kalpavraksha Laksha Vritesu Surabhira Vipalayan. So Krishna is known as Gopal because he is herding Surabhi cows. But in modern age, the civilization has become so degraded that they're killing cows, and cow killing has become so rampant. So the devotees should strictly follow the principle of eating what is in the mode of goodness, particularly eating only prasadam. Just by eating prasadam, we can purify ourselves and then make advancement in our Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here and then invite some questions or comments. Okay, there was one hand up. Okay, I think Rajat
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Very nice class. My question is, you said, like the various demons who were envious of Krishna, they also finally got liberated. So in our material world who are trying to get into Krishna consciousness, there is also, I have heard that there are certain devotees, they also think that everyone thinks of shortcuts. So they also think that if we are also envious of Krishna, then we may get liberation at the end, because that is our main goal. So how to convince them while teaching, means what is wrong? And I would like to know more from you on this, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, becoming envious of Krishna is not natural. It's an unnatural state of being. But these demons, they become envious of Krishna to the limit. Just like Kansa. He was seeing Krishna in everything, even in his food, everywhere. He could not sleep day and night because he was so absorbed in thinking of Krishna as his death. So because he was so absorbed, then Krishna killed him. And anyone who is killed by the hands of Krishna becomes liberated. But that kind of liberation is not desired by devotees. That liberation is available to demons. When the demons are killed by Krishna, they merge into his impersonal effulgence, Brahmajyoti. And that kind of liberation is hell for the devotees. Kaival Narakayati. Tridashapur Akas Pushpayati. So our acharyas are saying that Kaivalya, or merging into the existence of Krishna, like the demons do, is because once they merge into Krishna, then they can't serve Krishna. Serving Krishna is more relishable than merging into Krishna. So first of all, the devotees don't desire to merge into Krishna. Secondly, those who are envious of Krishna, like the demons, unless they come to that extent of envy, like Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, or Shishupal, then they are not going to get the chance to be killed by Krishna. So they won't be delivered. They will have a chance to be killed by material nature again and again and again and again. Okay? So in the material nature, there are so many envious living entities, just like the snakes. Snakes are considered to be the most envious creature. As soon as a snake sees another living being, immediately it will attack. So snakes are considered to be very, very envious. But all the snakes are not being killed by Krishna. In fact, snakes are part of Krishna's creation. There are so many divine snakes in the lower planetary systems, but they are not all not being killed by Krishna. So many mini demons are not being killed by Krishna. So where is the possibility of them being delivered? So this logic that let me become envious of Krishna, and then I'll be delivered like Kansa and Shishupal, Ravan, Kumbhakara. No, you are a mini demon. And therefore Krishna's material energy, Maya, will punish you time and time again. So you may become a snake. And then Maya will punish you. You can be a envious snake and live in that condition for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. So Maya will punish you like that. Like Kali, a serpent, he was very fortunate because he happened to be in Vrindavan and he became envious of Krishna and envious of Brajavasis. So Krishna danced on his foot, but not all the snakes are so fortunate, are they? Therefore, they have no possibility of being delivered. For such envious people, they will be punished by Maya time and time again. And Maya is already punishing. Jivo jivasya jivanam. One living entity is the food for another living entity. So this is how Maya is punishing the envious living entities. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very well answered. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, should we take another question or comment? Okay, there seems to be no other question. Let's
Prabhuji,
look
there
at
is
some comments. Yeah.
There is a question in the comment box, I think.
Okay, let's have a look. Right. So, yeah, this is Hare Krishna Guruji. Lord Krishna, why made our stomach to absorb both meat and vegetable? Why our stomach can digest both meat and vegetable? He can make us only herbivores, and people can only eat vegetables. So in human platform, this is a middle platform, human beings. This is a middle platform. In the heavenly planets, nobody eats meat. The demigods, they don't eat meat. There's a story in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that one time Urvasi, he was cursed to come to earthly planet. So when she came to the earthly planet, she met Maharaj Pururva. She told Maharaj Pururva that in this earthly planet, I don't find there's anything I can eat. So I will not eat anything. I would only take pure cow's milk as my food, nothing else. So demigods, when they come to the material world, material planet, earthly planet, they know there's no pure food. Only pure food on earthly planet is the product of cow, ghee, milk, like that. So Urvasi, for 1 year, she stayed with Maharaj Pururva as his wife, and she only ate pure cow's milk, or pure cow's ghee. She only took ghee, cow product. So your question is why our stomach is made to digest both. In human platform, we are on a middle platform. So we can choose to either uplift ourselves or downgrade ourselves. Choice is yours. If you eat meat, meat means mansa. I am that. You become that animal to be killed by that animal in your next life. It's your choice. You can make this choice. But if you analyze your teeth, 32 teeth, or whatever number of teeth you have, predominantly all your teeth are meant to chew vegetables, fruits, like that. Your teeth and tiger's teeth are different. They're not same. Tiger has got very sharp teeth. Tiger does not go to a dentist. You do. So your constitution is very different to a tiger's constitution. A snake also has teeth, but those teeth are mixed with poison. Your teeth are not. Okay, so there's different purposes, but human platform is very middle platform, middle path. So you can make a choice. If you want to go down into animal kingdom, then eat meat. If you want to uplift yourself, then you have to come to human platform and become uplift. So our food is a great factor, deciding factor, what kind of consciousness we will develop. There's a saying in English, you are what you eat. So if you eat animals, then you will become animals. If you eat pure food, sattvic food, then eventually you will uplift your consciousness, upgrade your consciousness. And there's a very nice verse in the scripture, ahara suddho, shattu suddho. Satsuddho, satsuddha dhruva siddhi. So when our ahar, eating becomes purified, then our existence becomes pure. And by purifying existence, then we can revive our Krishna consciousness, Dhruva Smriti. So ahar is very important. I have been living here in England for more than 20 years. And when I came from Vrindavan, I made a rule that I will not eat outside. So we have kept that rule. There are some restaurants, Govinda's restaurants in big cities, especially in London, Swansea, but not many. So then the rule is don't eat anything outside. Just eat prasadam. And we have survived, not only survived, we prepare prasadam at home, offer to the deities, and eat. Okay, so thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Should we stop here now? Or wait for other comments or questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji, just wanted to ask you, like, I was a non-vegetarian earlier. And now from 2-3 years, I have already left everything. You know, I don't even eat onion also. But it always comes in my mind that since I have already done that path, of eating animals, so have I already decided my what should I say, my punishment for my next birth? It is already decided, or with my bhakti and sadhana, can it be pardoned by the Thakurji?
Yes, because you have come to devotional service, then millions of words of past activities, they will be all eradicated. And in Brahma Samhita, the Lord Brahma says, Karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhaja. Govindam adi purusham tamham bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, by whose mercy the millions of lifetimes of karma can be burned to ashes. So you don't have to worry. But what you have to worry, that you don't fall back into that trap.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you are mute, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear
Yeah,
everything, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
Mata is, yeah, so don't fall back. As I was saying, it is possible to live even in the West. I've been living here for 20 years in England, and we just make a rule, don't eat unless it's a temple or Govinda's restaurant. And there's no problem. You just go to supermarket, buy nice things, and prepare food, offer it to the deity. You can make hundreds of preparations, hundreds. Janmashtami is coming, and easily we have like 500 preparations easily, sometimes more. Hundreds of preparations you can make. Okay, Mataji?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. I have another question, because most of my relatives and friends, they eat garlic, onion, and they also cook non-veg food. So when we go to their place, so what should I do in that case? Although when I go, I offer prasada bhog to my Thakurji at home, and I take that prasad. But when I'm going for dinner or something, so if the food is the food is without garlic and onion, can I eat there by just chanting Hare Krishna and offering that food to Thakurji, and can eat it, or should I not even eat that food also?
I think the best is to avoid eating any food cooked in the same kitchen where they are cooking meat. Let me tell you my story. Sometime we visit our father-in-law, my father-in-law here. He lives in another city in Manchester, near Manchester. So he is not vegetarian. And what we do, we go there and we take our pots. So this is kind of extreme. We take our own pot. So we use his kitchen, but we just cook ourselves. Now, sometimes this may not be possible that you carry your own pots. But then you have to see, how much you can adjust. But if the food is being cooked in the same kitchen as meat, it's better to avoid that, or you can just negotiate with your relatives or family, and you just say, okay, I'm coming that day, and don't cook. I'll just cook, and I'll cook for everyone. So you can negotiate like that. But on that day, I'm going to cook, so I'll cook for everybody. And then you just cook and you offer, and then you can serve prasadam. Like that, you can negotiate. But for us, we had to take extreme measures that we carry our own pots. So now we just keep, set of pots there. And he adjusted. He knows that we will not eat anything from his kitchen unless we prepare ourselves. So then he said, okay, you keep your own pots. So we keep a set of pots in his house. Those pots are not used by anybody. So you have to see how to adjust. If you want to adjust, it is possible that you can negotiate with the family members that I will not eat anything. So if you want me to come, then I will come and cook. So you don't have to cook, I'll cook for everybody. So that way you can adjust. All right, Mataji?
I will take care. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I think we are already past the time. So shall we stop here?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving your time and for the wonderful session today. So we will offer Vaishnava Pranam and conclude today's session. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Shri Vaishnavebhyo namo Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai Sheshe Radha Kunj Bihari Bhagwan ki jai Sheshe Gaur Nitai ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Nitai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories
Hari
to the
Bol, Hari
all
Krishna.
glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Krishna.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Jai.